Ukraine battered again, Zelenskyy says U.S. officials to visit. A Ukrainian presidential office advisor says Russian forces have tried to storm a steel plant that is the last defense stronghold in the strategic port city of Mariupol. Kyiv, Ukraine. Russian forces in Ukraine tried to storm a steel plant housing soldiers and civilians in the southern city of Mariupol on Saturday in an attempt to crush the last pocket of resistance in a place of deep symbolic and strategic value to Moscow, Ukrainian officials said. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy, meanwhile, announced he would meet Sunday in his nation's capital with the U.S. Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, and the U.S. Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin. The White House declined to comment. Speaking at a news conference, Zelenskyy gave little detail about logistics of the encounter but said he expected concrete results, not just presents are some kind of cakes. We are expecting specific things and specific weapons. It would be the first high-level U.S. trip to Kyiv since the war began February 24. While visiting Poland in March, Blinken stepped briefly onto Ukrainian soil to meet with the country's foreign minister. Zelenskyy's last face-to-face meeting with a U.S. leader was February 19 with Vice President Kamala Harris. In attacks on the eve of Orthodox Easter, Russian forces pounded cities and towns in southern and eastern Ukraine. A 3-month-old baby was among 8 people killed when Russia fired cruise missiles at the Black Sea port city of Odessa, officials said. Zelenskyy said 18 more were wounded. The war started when this baby was 1 month old. Can you imagine what is happening? Zelenskyy said. They are just bastards. I don't have any other words for it, just bastards. The Ukrainian military said Saturday it destroyed a Russian command post in Kherson, a southern city that fell to Russian forces early in the war. The command post was hit on Friday, killing 2 generals and critically wounding another, the Ukrainian Military Intelligence Agency said in a statement. The Russian military did not comment on the claim, which could not be confirmed. Oleksiy Arestovich, a Zelenskyy advisor, said in an online interview that 50 senior Russian officers were in the command center when it was attacked. The fate of the Ukrainians in the sprawling and besieged seaside steel mill in Mariupol, where Russia says its forces have taken the rest of the city, wasn't immediately clear. Earlier Saturday, a Ukrainian military unit released a video reportedly taken 2 days earlier in which women and children holed up underground, some for as long as 2 months, said they long to see the sun. We want to see peaceful skies, we want to breathe in fresh air, one woman in the video said. You have simply no idea what it means for us to simply eat, drink some sweetened tea. For us, it is already happiness. Russia said it took control of several villages elsewhere in the eastern Donbass region and destroyed 11 Ukrainian military targets overnight, including 3 artillery warehouses. Russian attacks also struck populated areas. Associated Press journalists observed shelling in residential areas of Kharkiv, Ukraine's second-largest city. Regional Governor Oleh Sinhubov said 3 people were killed. In the Luhansk area of the Donbass, Governor Serhiy Haidai said 6 people died during the shelling of a village, Gorskoy. In Sloviansk, a town in northern Donbass, the AP witnessed 2 soldiers arriving at a hospital, one of them mortally wounded. Sitting in a wheelchair outside her damaged Sloviansk apartment, Anna Dorenskaya, 70, said, "I want peace." One of many native Russian speakers in eastern Ukraine, Dorenskaya said she wishes Russians would understand that Ukrainians are not bad people and that there should be no enmity between them. Why is this happening? She said. I don't know. While British officials said Russian forces had not gained significant new ground, Ukrainian officials announced a nationwide curfew ahead of Easter Sunday, a sign of the war's disruption and threat to the entire country. Mariupol has been a key Russian objective and has taken on outsized importance in the war. Completing its capture would give Russia its biggest victory. Yet, after a nearly 2-month siege reduced much of the city to a smoking ruin, it would deprive Ukrainian of a vital port, free up Russian troops to fight elsewhere and establish a land corridor to the Crimean Peninsula, which Moscow seized in 2014. Russia-backed separatists control parts of the Donbass. An advisor to Ukraine's presidential office, Oleksiy Arestovich, said Russian forces resumed airstrikes on the Azovstal plant and were also trying to storm it, in an apparent reversal of tactics. 2 days earlier, Russian President Vladimir Putin had given an order not to send troops in but instead to blockade the plant. Ukrainian officials have estimated that about 2,000 of their troops are inside the plant along with civilians sheltering in its underground tunnels. Earlier Saturday, the Azov Regiment of Ukraine's National Guard, which has members holed up in the plant, released the video of about 24 women and children. Its contents could not be independently verified. But if authentic, it would be the first video testimony of what life has been like for civilians trapped underground there. The video shows soldiers giving sweets to children who respond with fist bumps. One young girl says she and her relatives haven't seen neither the sky nor the sun since they left home February 27. The regiment's deputy commander, Sviatoslav Palomar, told the AP the video was shot Thursday. The Azov Regiment has its roots in the Azov Battalion, which was formed by far-right activists in 2014 at the start of the separatist conflict in eastern Ukraine and has elicited criticism for some of its tactics. More than 100,000 people, down from a pre-war population of about 430,000, are believed to remain in Mariupol with scant food, water or heat. Ukrainian authorities estimate that over 20,000 civilians have been killed in the city. Yet another attempt to evacuate women, children and older adults from Mariupol failed Saturday. Petro Andriushenko, an advisor to Mariupol's mayor, said, Russian forces did not allow Ukrainian organized buses to take residents to Zaporizhia, a city 227 kilometers, 141 miles to the northwest. At 11 o'clock, at least 200 Mariupol residents gathered near the Port City shopping center, waiting for evacuation, Andriushenko posted on the Telegram messaging app. The Russian military drove up to the Mariupol residents and ordered them to disperse, because now there will be shelling. At the same time, he said, Russian buses assembled about 200 yards away. Residents who boarded those were told they were being taken to separatist-occupied territory and not allowed to disembark, Andriushenko said. His account could not be independently verified. In the attack on Odessa, Russian troops fired at least 6 missiles, according to Anton Gerashenko, an advisor to Ukraine's interior minister. Residents of the city heard explosions in different areas, Gerashenko said via Telegram. Residential buildings were hit. It is already known about one victim. He burned in his car in a courtyard of one of the buildings. Zelenskyy's news conference was held in a Kyiv subway station, where he paused at one point as a train noisily passed through. The subway system, which includes the world's deepest station, attracted widespread attention early in the war when hordes of people took shelter there. Regarding the expected visit Sunday by U.S. officials, Zelenskyy said, I believe that we will be able to get agreements from the United States or part of that package on arming Ukraine which we agreed on earlier. Besides, we have strategic questions about security guarantees, which it is time to discuss in detail, because the United States will be one of those leaders of security countries for our state. Fish reported from Sloviansk, Ukraine. Associated Press journalists Mstislav Chernov and Felipe Dana in Kharkiv, Ukraine, Uraz Karmanow in Lviv, Ina Voronitsky in Kyiv and Associated Press staff members around the world contributed to this report. Follow the app's coverage of the war at https://apnews.com/hub/Russia-Ukraine.